If you have a family and you are thinking about moving to Orange County, you're probably asking yourself, what in the world are the best cities in Orange County to move to? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. We have the top 5 cities in all of Orange County ranked by me, a real estate agent with a family. So let's go ahead and dive in. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name's Christian. I'm a team leader and owner of Onyx Homes. We've helped over 800 people move all over Southern California just since 2020. Now, I make these videos in this channel all about Orange County just so that we can help you make your next move a little bit easier so you can make better decisions. These are not like, this is not an official list. This is just from helping a lot of people that their families go through on what they look for. So I'm going to talk very general, very broad. Don't take anything the wrong way, but let's go through it. So for city number 1, and the reason this is number 1 is most people start their search looking for the city that checks all the boxes, which is Irvine. So a lot of people will start their search here for a lot of the reasons we're going to talk about, and then we'll expand from there. My advice to you is do what we call window shopping and expand your search earlier, and I'll talk about that in a second. But Irvine. So most of these cities are going to be master plan communities, meaning that when they built the city itself, or at least a vast majority of the city, let's say, I think all of these is pretty much the whole city, is they had a plan in mind. And the plan was to cater towards families, which go figure are people who buy houses. So it makes a lot of sense as to why the master plan communities are really family friendly. It's because they have a lot of the stuff you need versus just like random people buying land and building whatever they thought was best. Master plan is just that, it was planned. So that's reason number 1. That's going to be universal through, I believe, every city we have on here, almost every city we have on here. So with Irvine, master plan community, as we mentioned, probably the biggest reason most people say they are starting their search or only want to look in Irvine for their reason is generally around schools. Schools and safety are two of the most important things about Irvine. There's amenities are in there as well too, which we'll get to in a second, but Irvine has some of the best schools in the entire country, and certainly in Orange County has the best schools in general, and in California some of the best schools in general. So overall, really, really high quality schools. I'm not going to go too much in depth there, but not every single area of Irvine is going to have that. So where you're looking is going to determine a little bit, but in general, broad strokes, that's why people like Irvine so much. The third chunk is amenities. I mean, Irvine just has a lot. There's a lot of parks. There's a lot of stuff to do. Now, Irvine is a little bit unique from the master plan developments where the city itself doesn't really have that. Like, there's a lot in Irvine, that's for sure. Depending on where you live, the neighborhood will determine your actual amenities. So like pools and clubhouses, some of these other cities on this list, the whole entire city gets access to everything. Irvine's not really like that. But there's just so much in Irvine. Like, Irvine checks the boxes for like, do I have to leave my city? No. Our school's great, yes. Safe, yes. Like, it checks a lot of the boxes for a lot of people, and that's why it's number 1 on the list. So I'm not going to go too much in depth as far as what are all of these things. I'm talking broad general strokes. Number 2 is the highlights for Irvine. And then I'm going to go about why. So for every one of these, I'm going to talk in 3 different things. Why it's great, what are the highlights, and then what are the cons? What are the bad parts? So number 2, highlights. The Irvine Spectrum. So probably the most, I'll say, broad shopping center and stuff to do center in or all of Orange County is the Irvine Spectrum. It's probably the most lively. It's one of the largest. It's got a ton of different shops. It's not high end, meaning like the shops themselves are not like South Coast Plaza, for example. Like, I go shopping there, I'm like, I don't even know 90% of these stores, and everything's $10,000, like really expensive stuff. Spectrum is available to everybody, let's say, and there's really good restaurants, there's high-end restaurants, there's fast casual. It's a really good place to just go hang out, and there's stuff to do there as well too. Think Ferris wheel, think ice rink in the winter, think what is that gigantic thing called? The Ferris wheel? Is that merry-go-round and Ferris wheel? That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to do there. So that's Irvine Spectrum. Number 2 is Gray Park. So this would be like the real master plan community in Irvine is Gray Park. So you have a lot of new construction, a lot of new built communities, lots of amenities there. And this is really all kind of blends in. This is taking like Irvine being an older city and mirroring it and meshing with what a lot of the new cities, some are on this list, have done really well. Now, cons. Irvine's expensive. There's not a tax. So let me put a disclaimer, I'll put a disclaimer here. There's not an actual tax. However, I explained to our clients that there is an Irvine tax, and the tax is, it's the most popular, so it's the most expensive. Is Irvine expensive because it's the best? That's totally up to you. If Irvine, some people hate Irvine for all the same reasons I just said. That doesn't really matter. Just the reality of you can check 90% of the boxes Irvine checks with a lot of different cities that are 20 to 40% less expensive, literally, like 20 to 30% less for sure. So that's one of the major downsides to Irvine, is it's just overall expensive. Next is HOA and Mello-Roos fees. So probably a common trend you're gonna see all these is high expenses of living, not just in real estate. Like Irvine has really not only expensive HOAs, but really like heavy-handed HOAs. So if you don't like to be told what to do with your house, most of Irvine's probably not gonna be the best fit. Now there's areas in Irvine that don't have HOAs at all. So like that's probably where you'd be more gravitating towards. And then the third thing is traffic. Like I live in South Orange County, so I live in Mission Viejo, for example, which is on this list. And if the second I hit Irvine, if I'm going north, that's when I hit traffic. I get zero traffic until I hit, kind of El Toro, which is the last exits before you get to the Spectrum. So traffic in Irvine, it's not LA by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely more congested than some of these other cities we put on here. So that is Irvine. That's top of the list. The rest of these aren't really in order, right? Irvine's number 1 for sure, and then 2 through 5 are pretty much all the same as far as like how I would rank them, because different people like them for different reasons. By the way, if you are thinking about moving anywhere, this is our home buyer negotiation blueprint, and I made this for you. I condensed down all of our strategies into the most simple form I could possibly do, and I broke this down into 4 simple steps. So this is all available for you. There's a link in the description down below that'll get you this download, and there's videos and written out, so you can kind of choose. Now, full disclosure, I started by making this and it was 126 pages, which was obviously way too much for most people at least. But if you want all of the information, you can always book a consultation or a strategy session with our team, as we call it, where we break this down. But if you just want the 30,000 foot view version of this, we go over how to research. And when I say how to research and get the best deal possible, make your home buying experience as good as possible. How can you make sure you are prepared so that when you find the right house, you're ready to go? How to actually write offers that get accepted without paying the most money? And then what happens when you actually get your offer accepted? And again, if you want to do the whole thing with us, you can go through it. But it's pretty simple, straightforward. Click the link down in the description below. Download your thing. We'll send it over to you. And if you want to book a strategy session with our team, you can do that on the next page. But anyway, let's get back to the video. All right, so Mission Viejo. This is where I live right now. I've lived here for the last handful of years. And this makes the list for a lot of different reasons. So why Mission Viejo is great for families? 3 reasons here. 1, Lake Mission Viejo. This is a massive, unique bonus for Mission Viejo. So let me pull this up. I want to show you just the sheer size of this, and I am lucky to actually have a view of this from my backyard. Absolutely beautiful, but not only is it pretty, it's impressive for the overall size. While I'm pulling up a map here, we'll show you where it's at. So here's Mission Viejo. It's a huge city as well too, as is Irvine, but you can see the lake is a pretty darn good size. Like, it's a big lake. For example, Rancho Santa Margarita also has a lake, and it's that's it. Versus Lake Mission Viejo is huge. Not to mention, all kinds of different stuff goes on here. So they shoot out fireworks. So my house is actually right over here, and they shoot out fireworks from here. They do concerts. They have all kinds of different festivals. Like they'll do Oktoberfest they just had recently. They have summer concerts. You can go down and rent Duffy boats, kayaks, paddleboarding. There's beaches. There's a beach here. There's a beach over here. So there's a lot of different things that come with Lake Mission Viejo, and pretty much all residents in Mission Viejo get access to it as well. Huge bonus. So that's 1. Number 2 is overall in Mission Viejo, you have really family-friendly vibes. And what do I mean by family-friendly vibes? Like, just the city overall is really inducive to families, which a lot of these, again, it's a master plan community, so that's another thing there. There's schools all over the place. There's parks, there's trails, there's grassy areas. There's stuff like that all over the place. Now your neighborhood it's gonna be really, amenities will be completely dependent upon your actual neighborhood. And most of Mission Viejo does not actually have any amenities outside of the lake. The lake is the big one. So those are the kind of the major reasons why Mission Viejo is great for families, outside of just, I'll say the obvious of, it's a lot of larger-ish single family houses. So a lot of 3, 4, 5 bedroom house, single family houses throughout. Now, yes, there's condos and townhomes and all that, but you're not seeing like high-rise apartment buildings and stuff like that. It's just a lot of suburbia, right? Which is obviously conducive to families. So highlights, strong schools, not as good as Irvine, but strong schools overall. If Irvine was 10 out of 10, Mission Viejo is like, let's say an 8 out of 10 overall, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, another thing is it's very safe as well too. So again, if Irvine is 10 out of 10 safe, Mission Viejo is 9 out of 10 safe. Like I don't even know if there's honestly a difference between the two, but that's just from what I hear customers talking about. That's kind of the difference there. Now, what's not so good about Mission Viejo? I would say the cons are like the age of the homes, for example. So like, here's one of our listings in Canyon Crest. These are all new construction, which is ironic, but you're gonna get some older homes. So if I just pick let's pick this guy here. So this is a house that is built in 1977, right? So we're like a 50-year-old house here, and 50-year-old houses start to have issues. So a lot of Mission Viejo was built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and about the 50-year mark, the plumbing starts to go bad. You're not really worried about electrical, but if you're gonna do a full remodel, you might as well do it. The roofs a lot of times are old. Your kind of hardscaping, landscaping stuff's probably needing some updating. You might have some cracks here and there. So when you get to these older style homes, now this particular one that I just pulled up has been remodeled, so you don't really have to worry too much about that type of stuff. Beautiful kitchen cabinets, all that stuff. But you're gonna have likely more expensive issues that will likely come up. That's just the reality of older homes. Another thing is traffic on main roads. So Mission Viejo's neighborhoods are generally very quiet and peaceful for the most part, but you will have major roads that go throughout. So if I go back to the map here, what I'm gonna share with you are kind of some of these major roads that go through. So if I pull the satellite view, might make it a little bit easier, probably not. All right, so like Geronimo, for example, this is a major road. La Paz is a major road. Oso, major road. Most of these are freeway exits as well too. Alicia, which goes right to the lake where I get off, is a major road. So those major roads will have traffic. And then you kind of have these north and south streets, which like Marguerite, for example, goes pretty much all the way north and south through Mission Viejo. So if you're around those streets, you can definitely get a little bit more traffic, but it's suburban traffic. It's not like everyone's just going home or leaving. It's not like you have traffic of crossing through Mission Viejo. Certainly not in the streets. A freeway, you're not really gonna run into any traffic there either. I'd say the biggest con, personally, is it's boring. It's like very boring for adults and kids. There's not a whole lot going on other than like, whatever you have going on in your neighborhood. There's no like things to go do. If me and my family are going and doing something, we're leaving Mission Viejo for sure. We're probably gonna go down to Dana Point's probably our favorite place to go. If you wanted to head up to Newport or Laguna, we could do that as well too, or down to San Juan Capistrano. Those are kind of like the major spots. Rancho Santa Margarita's got some great restaurants as well too. So like you're 15 minutes away from pretty much everything, but 15 to 30. But Mission Viejo overall is really boring. The next one on this list is Yorba Linda. And by the way, I might as well mention this. I'm wearing a hoodie today. If you watch any of my videos, you know I wear the same exact thing every single day. This is one of the 3 days that it's absolutely dumping rain in Orange County. So you get a hoodie today. I felt like I was called to mention that. All right, number 3. Now this is the only city that's on this list that is in North Orange County. And that's not necessarily by accident. A lot of our families are generally looking more so in South Orange County, but not to say there's anything wrong with North Orange County. But if you're checking boxes as a young family, a lot of the things you're gonna be looking for are generally in South Orange County, all right? But we're up here in North Orange County in Yorba Linda. So where's Yorba Linda at? Let's go ahead and pull this up on the map. I realize I didn't do this for Irvine, but we're all gonna be okay. We're gonna live. So Yorba Linda, we are up here in North Orange County, all the way at the top. As you can see, we are just down here in Mission Viejo. There's Irvine, in case you aren't aware of where Irvine's at. So this is really on the borderline to the Inland Empire and getting close up to LA as well too. So why is this great for families? Number one, quiet suburban living. Yorba Linda is so unique for where it's at. It's kind of a hidden gem, if you will. A lot of people, it's overlooked very often times. Very quiet suburban living overall for almost the entire city. Number 2, excellent schools. I would say better schools for the most part than you would even see in Mission Viejo. Again, this 2 through 5 is not in any particular order. And number 3, this is really good for parents who commute to the Inland Empire or to Los Angeles, or God forbid you're commuting in either direction. Absolutely a great spot to be in for the kind of quad counties of Riverside, San Bernardino, Los Angeles, and Orange County. It's kind of smack dab in the middle of all 4 of those. Now, highlights. Big differentiator here, this is the only city on this neighborhood that has this as a good thing, is bigger lots. You actually get more house for your money, but you definitely get more lot for your money. So if you like space and yards and you don't want your house to be right on top of each other like Irvine is, Yorba Linda is a fantastic option. You also have a really strong community identity. So I think because Yorba Linda is so unique in comparison to its surrounding cities, people that live in Yorba Linda are like really proud Yorba Linda residents, which I think is cool. I think it's kind of irrelevant in the big scheme of things, but if you live there, it's a cool thing. Cons. So higher housing costs. Now, I will say, if this is based on a median home price. So if I just look through, like, let's go to the most affordable stuff, right? Price, low to high. So there's affordable stuff for sure. I mean, $400,000 condos, 2 beds for $530. I mean, these are affordable townhome condos. And if I keep scrolling, you can get to the $1 million range. Nice view, 4 bedrooms, 2,600 square feet for $1.1 million. Like, that's a great deal. Under 1.1 here. So I think Yorba Linda gets this, if you just look broad strokes, it's expensive because it has way high end than the rest of the areas, which generally drives up your median home price. So for example, you've got 6.2, 6 million, 5.5. So if you're looking for high-end, good schools family, Yorba Linda is a fantastic option. If you don't, like, there are more options unlocked that may be superior to Yorba Linda if private schools are the direction you're going. For example, San Juan Capistrano is absolutely not on this list, but if you're in luxury and you're sending your kids to private schools, San Juan's really high on the list, right? So it's like, it just depends. So I think that's why the median home price is a little bit higher here. Technically, I'm gonna put that a con because it's more expensive than most of these other cities, but that's generally why. Now, another thing is it's a way longer commute to South Orange, because like if you, to the ocean, let's just call it. Because it's not even North and South Orange County. This is kind of funny. Orange County is like totally sideways. So when we say north and south, like if you're looking north and south here, it's really not. All of Orange County, if you're driving north on the 5, you're pretty much driving northwest or southeast if you're driving this way because it's sideways. So with that said, if you just do a straight line to the beach, this is as far away as you can get from the ocean. One of the other cities that may or may not be on this list, I won't spoil it, is all the way down here, and people say it's, oh my gosh, it's so far away. It's like, well, it's literally closer than almost everything else in Orange County to the beach. So there's that. And then traffic. North OC has, once you hit Irvine, this and north, way worse traffic. Way more congested, way worse traffic. I will say congested wise, the exception is Yorba Linda because you do have a lot of the hillside kind of protecting you from feeling super congested. But you do have this 91 highway that runs right through the south part, and that's an unfortunate thing to have to drive on for sure. Not going to sugarcoat that. All right, that's city number 3 is Yorba Linda. City number 4 is, I keep calling this the sleeper. Should have put this as number 5, but number 4 is Aliso Viejo. So let's go ahead and pull this up. This is a small city, and this is newer construction-ish. So it's not brand new construction by any stretch, but it is newer. So it's newer than Yorba Linda. It's newer than Mission Viejo. It is newer than a lot of Irvine. It's older than a lot of Irvine as well too, I suppose. So it's newer. You don't have to worry about 50-year-old homes necessarily. This is Aliso Viejo. So here's why people like Aliso. Number 1, I just said it's newer. Look at me, it's almost like I made these notes. It's also one of the most affordable, which is very surprising for a lot of people, is how affordable Aliso Viejo is. Like if I look at the inexpensive stuff, it starts maybe a little bit higher, like $600 for a 1-bedroom. But you have a lot of options that are very affordable. I mean, very affordable. There's a really big middle and even lower middle as far as in comparison to all of Orange County, to where you can get into 3-4 bedroom houses for under $1 million, a lot of townhome condos, stuff like that. I would say this is the entry city for South Orange County that is for families, that checks all these boxes. You're also not going to have Mello-Roos. So because it's not brand new construction, the Mello-Roos is pretty much, it has expired across the entire city, so you don't have that additional cost. However, every single neighborhood has an HOA, right? So there's kind of that trade-off. Now, highlights here. Why am I so zoomed out? So if I zoom in here, Aliso Viejo is South Orange County, and it's very, very close to Laguna Beach. I will say, if you want to live in Laguna Beach and you do not want a $5 million average house, more like a $3.5 million average house, you could live right here for 1.5, have a single family house, 4 beds, 3 baths, 1,800 square feet, and be this close. I mean, literally across the street to Laguna Beach and right on the 133. That is fantastic. Also, if you like the Newport lifestyle and you don't want a $5 million house, it's the same price. You could just jump on the 73, pay your $7 tax, extortion for the toll road, and be right in Newport Beach. Like, you could be in Newport Coast in minutes from Aliso Viejo. So that is a huge highlight. Another highlight, really good schools overall. I mean, shoot, this is right on par with being a notch below Irvine. It's right there with Mission Viejo, right there with Yorba Linda. Huge reason. Also, super safe. If I look at the safety ratings for all these different cities, they're all super high. Obviously, these are all things that families look for. Why would somebody not like Aliso? HOAs, yeah, whatever. Limited nightlife. I will say, in comparison to a lot of these other cities, Aliso has like some things going for it. There's more, I don't want to say stuff to do, but they got the town center, they got the movie theaters, a lot of restaurants there, but there's not like going out things to do. Cons, toll road dependence, because it's a little bit out of the way. Like if you live here-ish, like right where I'm highlighting, if you live right here and you got to drive all the way across to Alicia or Avery and then to the 5, like you're out of the way. You're a little ways. You're a lot of the ways out of the way. Very similar to like if you're in Rancho Santa Margarita, you live far away from the freeway. But the good thing with Aliso Viejo, which Rancho Santa Margarita RSM does as well too, is you have the toll road. It's just, it costs money. So like, I don't know if that matters or not. But the houses are cheaper, so there's your trade-off. So that's Aliso Viejo. Those are the reasons there. I know I'm repeating myself with a lot of these things, but guess what? Families like a lot of the same things. So last on our list for today is Rancho Mission Viejo. There we go. All right. So Rancho Mission Viejo is really south in Orange County. It's almost as far south as you can really get. The only things that are farther south, San Juan, Dana Point, San Clemente. That's really it as far as south. So Rancho Mission Viejo is what almost feels like an extension of Ladera Ranch, which is an honorable mention for this list, as is Rancho Santa Margarita. Honestly, all of South Orange County for the most part could have been on here for the most part. But these are the top 5 I wanted to pick based on popular demand from you as the customer. So Rancho Mission Viejo, the reason this is on the list is they just crushed the master plan community. They just did. If they built the whole city for the families. And I will say what Ladera Ranch really did well was they made the city amenity friendly for families. However, the amenities are for younger kids. There's nothing in Ladera Ranch for adults. Now on the flip side, Rancho Mission Viejo, they said, okay, people love that stuff about Ladera. It's right across the street. It's a great market. Why don't we do the same thing but have amenities for the kids and for adults and for like teenagers? And they just crushed it. They knocked it out of the park. The amenities are like resort style, very high end, very nice. The whole city gets to all the amenities, with the exception of they have some of the best 55 neighborhoods that get all the amenities, but obviously like 5-year-old to the 55 plus community pool. That would definitely be frowned upon. But anyway, so as far as the resort style amenities, like they really feel like you're at a resort. Not that like Ladera's don't, for example. They just did a really good job with Rancho Mission Viejo. It's also brand new. Like they just started construction of the city in 2016, and they're still building. They're on phase 3 out of 5. So there's going to be way more new construction. This is the last city that'll ever be built in Orange County. So there's something to be said there. There's a lot of new construction. Now the cons here, really high HOA. HOAs aren't that high. They're only going to go up. Really high Mello-Roos. Because it's brand new construction, your Mello-Roos is the most expensive there. So that just makes it more expensive. There's really limited retail for now. Like a lot of the shopping centers, businesses have not planted roots yet, right? So it's very limited there. And you're going to see farther away from freeways. Again, people say it's so out of the way. It's out of the way if you're looking at in comparison to like Irvine. Yeah, it's out of the way for sure, as is Ladera, as all of this down here is. But really far away from the freeway, like, it's not really. It's really not. It's you got to drive down to San Juan Capistrano and get across. Like I lived in Ladera Ranch, and you have to take literally the exact same distance. I don't know. Like people that drive out here, a lot of I'll share the reason. I've said this in other videos, but I think it's worth saying. If you're driving from Irvine to Rancho Mission Viejo, some of the directions will take you, like say if you're coming through the 5, it'll probably take you on the 5 up to 133 and then all the way over here to take the toll road down, and you will be like, we are in Nevada, and it will feel like that. Having said that, if you just took the 5 all the way down, you'd be like San Juan, you're like almost at the beach in San Juan, and then you go 5 minutes inland and you're there, and you'd be like, oh, it's actually not that far away from oceans, which is true. Like, this is closer here. This is a shorter distance than Irvine. Like, literally, it's closer to the beach than Irvine, and people just don't think that way. So anyway, honorable mentions. I'm just gonna rattle off a few here. If you're still watching, by the way, thank you so much. Like and subscribe so that we know what type of content you like more. If you made it this far, I assume you like this video. We like to make more of what you actually like. So if you do like the video, subscribe. It gives us a way better idea of what content to make. Or please put them in the comments down below. But anyway, I'm gonna give some honorable mentions. Rancho Santa Margarita absolutely could be on this list. It's got a lot of the same benefits. Laguna Niguel kind of hits this list, hits a lot of the things. Lake Forest kind of. Irvine for sure. I mean, Newport hits this list as well too. It's just so expensive. So if we're talking about for families, like if you're a family that you're looking for the $4 million house and you want average, if you want an average house for the city, let's say, it's $4 million. So that's Irvine hits, or rather Newport hits all these check boxes as well too, and then some. It's just 3 or 4 times more money. Same thing with Laguna Beach. I'd say a little bit less on some of the stuff. Newport definitely hits this particular video more than the other two. And then in North Orange County, Rossmore is a really good option for this. It's just really, really small. There's not a whole lot of houses for sale there. And that'd be the hit list. Those are my honorable mentions. So if you found this video helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And in this next video, I'm actually gonna go for a full deep dive on how to get prepared to buy your home. So if you're thinking about making a move, this next video I think will be super helpful for you.